On a rainy night in the private land, a group of fishermen ventured out to capture toads near the river. Their plans took a drastic turn when they stumbled upon a peculiar egg. Intrigued by its size, they approached, only to be confronted by a colossal, monstrous creature emerging from the water. The rumor of a giant fish in the lake spread, becoming the legend of Wonkon. In August 2017, Lin, preparing breakfast, woke her sister May, who sought their drunkard brother Kang by the lake. May discovered a massive egg near a peculiar footprint, and despite its slimy surface, she insisted on taking it home. May's insistence led to an argument with Lin, who refused to keep the egg in their house. May left with the egg on her bike, waiting by the lake for it to hatch. Concerned, Lin and Kang went in search of her. Finding blood on the water and May's disappearance, panic set in as Lin screamed, prompting Kang to dive into the lake. A monstrous creature approached Kang, but he narrowly escaped. Lin and Kang ran towards farmlands, chased by the creature. It revealed itself as a monstrous entity with fish-like body, snake-like tail, and crocodile-like skin, capable of standing on legs. Cornered, Lin and Kang hid in the trees, but the creature found them. Injuring Kang, after a struggle, they escaped, hitchhiking to the hospital. Later in the hospital, Lin is interrogated by the police force's commander in Wonkon. Lin claims the assailant wasn't an animal, but an unseen monster. Simultaneously, the creature continues causing chaos in Wonkon, reaching a construction site in the city center. James, a Royal Thai police inspector in Wonkon, is visiting his late wife's grave when he learns of the attacks. He rushes to investigate with his partner Wit, discovering large footprints and blood traces, confirming the monstrous creature's existence. Back at the police station, Commander Sawat holds a meeting with James, Wit, and other officials to trace the creature's movements. They find similar footprints in various lakes in Wonkon, differing in sizes. James suspects the creature travels through water and surfaces only to hunt. The police split into two groups, led by Commander Sawat and Inspector James, attempting to corner the creature. After the meeting, James receives a call from the school director about his daughter, Pam, who has been suspended after a fight. James confronts Pam about her rebellious behavior, questioning if it's related to her mother's death. Pam remains silent, and James later brings her to work with him, driving to their assigned area on the other side of Wonkon. James and Wit encounter two Chinese students, Wei and Chen, who have come to Thailand to study unusual events. Wei observes animal attacks and abrupt weather changes in Wonkon. The duo then heads to a nearby lake to collect samples, but hears news about the attack. Upon learning about the attack battle and discussion with the head physician's consent, Wei and Chen extend their assistance within the hospital. In the patient room, Kang awakens from a dream involving May and a mysterious creature in a cave, seeking answers. Chen and Wei approach Kang and Lin, inquiring about the incident. Despite doubts, Lin shares details about the creature, mentioning the doctor's suspicion of a snake bite on Kang. Later that day, Kang and Lin, concerned for their younger sister May, contemplate the situation. Kang, discovering bandages on his throat and shoulders, attempts to speak, but finds himself unable. Examining his shoulder wound, he discovers slime, and Kang starts having visions, implying a connection with the creature. Returning to his room, Kang writes to Lin, revealing his knowledge of the creature's whereabouts. Lin and Kang escape the hospital, to aid Commander Suwat in finding the creature. Meanwhile, Suwat and the villagers of Wonkon gather in stormy weather, armed and ready to capture the creature. As Lin and Kang join them, Kang points to a small building, leading the way for the villagers. The villagers hurl improvised incendiary devices toward it. The creature emerges from the building, sparking turmoil. Undeterred, the villagers ensnare the creature successfully. Intent on killing it, Lin steps in, revealing Kang's connection. Commander Sawat opts to store the creature in a pickup truck as night falls. Inspector James Witt and police officials, stationed by the lake, discover May and a mysterious egg. James invites them into the vehicle, where Pam shields them from the storm. In the vehicle, silence prevails until James urges Pam to open up about her bitterness towards her father. Unwilling, Pam insists he won't change. Suddenly, a colossal creature emerges on the lake, decimating most officials. Terrified, James witnesses the creature lingering near the vehicle, prompting Pam, unaware of its existence, to scream when she sees it up close, muffled by neigh. James witnesses in anguish the beast attempts to assault their car. He tries to divert the massive creature by firing his gun, while Whit throws an oxygen tank near it. A subsequent gunshot at the tank causes an explosion, halting the creature's attack. Unbeknownst to them, the colossal creature had been lurking for its egg, eventually breaking into the car and seizing it. Enraged, it assaults Pam before departing. James rushes to Pam and transports her to an ambulance inside the police station. Commander Sawat, accompanied by his daughter Fawn, finds the area filled with panicked residents. Together, they calm the residents and order everyone to settle in the central temple. Commander Sawat receives a message from James, revealing the presence of two creatures in Wonkon, a gigantic mother creature and a smaller, baby creature. Urged by James, Commander Sawat initiates an evacuation due to the approaching mother creature. Inside the temple, the residents, along with the monks, dedicate a short time to pray before boarding buses out of Wonkon. In the ambulance, Pam lies fatally injured on a stretcher as James hugs her, cherishing the warmth of the moment. He reassures his daughter that he won't leave her anymore, and Pam smiles, finally overcoming her grudges. Unfortunately, their reconciliation is cut short as Pam's injuries worsen, and she succumbs to them inside the ambulance. James breaks down in tears, witnessing Pam lifeless before him. Meanwhile, the buses are on the move to evacuate the Boinkan villagers. However, all the buses come across heavy traffic on the way because people have left their cars and started walking. As a result, everyone in their vehicles is forced to continue by foot. Just then, the gigantic creature arrives in the area, causing the people to run out of panic. James, who has just reached the scene, comes out of the ambulance. He sees a lost girl in the middle of the street, picks her up before he runs away from the creature's direction. In the middle of the commotion, the gigantic creature walks around, stumbling across the two Chinese students, Wei and Chen. After staring at them for a while, the creature walks past the two. Wei observes that the gigantic creature did not harm them and later learns that the creature does not intend to hurt anyone. He and Chen rush to tell this observation to Commander Sawat, claiming that the creature is only there to find its offspring, which is the smaller creature they have captured earlier that day. In an instant, Commander Sawat instructs the police officers to step away from the pickup truck that is holding the smaller creature. After some time, the traffic subsides, and the rest of the villagers return to the bus. James also manages to return the lost girl to her parents. Lin rides the bus and waits for Kang to follow her, but he does not. Kang quietly observes the people around before looking at the smaller creature in the pickup truck. Lin calls out to Kang and stops him from going, but instead, Kang gives her a hug and walks away. Ken aims to stop the commotion by luring the gigantic creature away from everyone. Since the gigantic creature is headed towards its offspring, he rides the pickup truck carrying the smaller creature. The next morning, in the aftermath of the commotion, journalists and media outlets from all over the country came to Wonkon. The journalists claimed to have seen video clips on online media about the unknown creature, thus asking for Commander Sawat's statement. When one of the journalists asks about the identification of the creature, Commander Sawat's spokesperson says that all video clips in online media from a movie shooting. They deny all claims about a monster attacking people, keeping it a legend of Wonkon. After the press conference, Commander Sawat explains to James that he and the authorities of Wonkon ultimately agreed on hiding the truth from everybody. Commander Sawat points out that it is not yet time, and that he does not want any monster hunter to come to Wonkon. Later on, James hands over his badge to Commander Suwat, resigning from his position as inspector. For James, lying about the legend of Wong Kon is more cruel than the creatures they have dealt with. More importantly, it appears as an attempt to cover up the failed response of the authorities and the overwhelming number of casualties. Pretending that everything is peaceful, he then returns to his daughter Pam, hugging her close. Elsewhere, May wanders around the street looking for her brother and sister, until Lin finds her. The two reunite with a hug, while James quietly watches them from a distance. Slowly, the people of Wong Kon return to their homes, continuing with what is left of their livelihood. James pays a visit to his wife and daughter's grave, still filled with remorse. Lin and May also spend time on the lake, thinking about their brother Kang. From then on, the gigantic creature has never returned again, and nobody knew where it was. 5 years after the incident, James visits the temple and talks with a monk. As it turns out, James eventually decides to come back to his job in the Royal Thai Police, just for the sake of earning money for his daily needs. Moreover, James reveals that he has been quietly watching over May, who has now grown older during the last 5 years. He tells the monk that he follows May to her school and waits until the end of her class. James observed May performing a ritual by the lake with villagers. One night, he followed her, witnessing May bonding with a creature. Confused, he approached May to avenge his daughter Pam's death. James confronted a gigantic creature, but, urged to stop by May, put down his gun. The monk later advised James to confront the monster within his heart, not the creature. Despite contemplating suicide, James heard his daughter Pam's voice. Changing his mind, May led him to a cave with symbols depicting the creature's history. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.